Terrazzo floors are known for their durability and beauty, but over time they can lose their shine. In this video we will guide you through the step-by-step process of sanding terrazzo to restore its original brilliance. Follow along for professional results. Chapter 2. Importance of terrazzo sanding. Sanding helps remove scratches, stains and dull layers, making the floor more resistant to dirt and wear. This process revives the floor's appearance, making it look brand new again. Chapter 3. Tools and equipment needed. To achieve the best results, you'll need a terrazzo polishing machine, sanding discs of various grits, water, specialized cleaning agents, and polishing compounds. Using the right tools for each stage is crucial. Chapter 4. Preparing the floor for sanding. Before starting, thoroughly clean the floor to remove dust and dirt. Use a damp mop and a mild cleaner to ensure there are no particles that could interfere with the sanding process. Chapter 5. Starting with coarse grit sanding. Begin with a coarse grit sanding disc to remove the topmost damaged layer. Move the machine slowly and evenly to ensure consistent coverage across the floor. Chapter 6. Using medium grit sanding. After completing the first phase, switch to a medium grit disc. This step helps further smooth the floor and eliminate any rough lines left by the coarse grit. Chapter 7. Fine grit. Sanding for a smooth finish. Next, use a very fine grit disc to polish the surface and make it uniform. This step is essential for achieving a flawless, professional finish. Chapter 8. Cleaning the floor. After sanding. Once sanding is complete, use a damp mop to remove any dust or residue. A clean surface is necessary before applying the final polish. Chapter 9. Preparing the polishing compound. Select a high-quality polishing compound specifically designed for terrazzo floors. Read the instructions carefully to ensure proper application. Chapter 10. Applying the first layer of polish use. A soft cloth or mop to evenly spread the polishing compound across the floor. Apply in circular motions to enhance absorption. Chapter 11. Buffing the floor with a polishing machine. Once the first layer has dried, use a polishing machine with a special buffing pad to bring out the natural shine of the terrazzo. This step ensures a professional-looking finish. Chapter 12. Adding a protective layer. To maintain the shine for a longer period, apply a sealant or protective wax coating. This will safeguard the terrazzo from stains and moisture. Chapter 13. Routine maintenance for terrazzo floors. After sanding and polishing, clean your terrazzo floor regularly using mild, non-acidic cleaners. Avoid harsh chemicals that can dull the finish. Chapter 14. Common issues during sanding. You may encounter uneven lines or dark patches after sanding. These can be fixed by resanding affected areas or using specialized cleaning products. Chapter 15. Mistakes to avoid. Do not rush the sanding process. Moving too fast can cause uneven results. Also, use the right amount of water to prevent overheating the floor. Chapter 16. Manual versus machine sanding. While manual sanding is possible, using a machine saves time and effort while providing more professional results. Choose the method that best suits your project. Chapter 17. When should you resand your terrazzo floor? If your floor appears dull or has visible scratches, it may be time for resanding. Typically, terrazzo floors need sanding every 3 to 5 years, depending on use. Chapter 18. DIY sanding versus hiring a professional. If you have the right tools and experience, you can sand your terrazzo floor yourself. However, for large areas or extensive damage, hiring a professional ensures the best outcome. Chapter 19. Cost of terrazzo sanding. The cost of sanding depends on factors such as floor size, terrazzo condition, and tools used. Professional sanding can be expensive but provides long-lasting results. Chapter 20. Conclusion and final tips. Sanding terrazzo floors is not difficult, but it requires precision and patience. Follow these steps to achieve a smooth, polished finish that lasts. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more exclusive tutorials. Chapter 21. How to identify your terrazzo. Type. Not all terrazzo floors are the same. Some are made with marble chips, while others use quartz or granite. Knowing your terrazzo type will help you choose the best sanding and polishing methods. Chapter 22. The role of water in sanding. Water acts as a coolant during the sanding process, preventing overheating and reducing dust. Learn how much water to use and when to adjust the amount based on sanding grit. Chapter 23. Choosing the right sanding machine. There are different types of floor sanding machines, from handheld orbital sanders to industrial grinders. Discover which one is best for your project based on floor size and condition. Chapter 24. The best sanding techniques for beginners. If you're new to terrazzo sanding, this chapter provides essential tips to avoid common beginner mistakes and achieve a professional-looking finish. Chapter 25. How to sand terrazzo stairs. Sanding staircases requires a different approach than flat floors. Learn how to sand edges, corners, and vertical surfaces effectively. Chapter 26. Dealing with deep scratches and stains. Some terrazzo floors have deep scratches or stains that regular sanding won't remove. Discover additional methods like epoxy, patching, and deep cleaning solutions. Chapter 27. How long does terrazzo sanding take? The duration of the sanding process depends on the size of the floor, the damage level, and the equipment used. Learn how to estimate your project timeline. Chapter 28. Dry sanding versus wet sanding. Both methods have their pros and cons. Dry sanding produces more dust but is faster, while wet sanding is cleaner and provides better surface smoothness. Find out which one suits your needs. Chapter 29. Sanding terrazzo with hand tools. If you don't have access to a sanding machine, you can still restore your floor using manual tools like diamond hand pads and scrapers. Chapter 30. How to fix uneven. Terrazzo after sanding. If your floor ends up with uneven patches, don't worry. This chapter will guide you through corrective techniques, including resanding and localized polishing. Chapter 31. Advanced polishing methods for a mirror finish. For those aiming for a high-gloss finish, this chapter covers advanced polishing, techniques using diamond abrasives and crystallization compounds. Chapter 32. Using resin-bonded discs for extra shine. Resin-bonded discs offer superior polishing results compared to traditional sanding discs. Learn when and how to use them. Chapter 33. Common sanding disasters and how to fix them. Sometimes things go wrong, whether it's swirl marks, scratches, or excessive wear. This chapter provides solutions for common sanding mistakes. Chapter 34. How to seal a sanded terrazzo floor. Sealing your floor after sanding helps protect it from stains and moisture. Learn about different sealers, from water-based to solvent-based options. Chapter 35. Sanding small terrazzo areas and countertops. Terrazzo isn't just for floors. Discover how to sand and polish small terrazzo surfaces like countertops, tabletops, and decorative inlays. Chapter 36. Eco-friendly sanding and polishing products. Looking for a more sustainable approach? This chapter explores environmentally friendly sanding pads, polishing compounds, and cleaning solutions. Chapter 37. Maintaining the gloss after sanding. Once your terrazzo floor is polished, you'll want to keep it looking great. Get tips on daily, weekly, and monthly maintenance routines to preserve the shine. Chapter 38. Comparing terrazzo sanding cost by region. The cost of terrazzo restoration varies by location. This chapter provides insights into pricing differences in various countries and how to budget your project. Chapter 39. Sanding terrazzo in high-traffic areas. Floors in commercial spaces or busy homes require extra care. Learn how to sand and maintain terrazzo in high-traffic areas for long-lasting results. Chapter 40. Final review and key takeaways. A summary of everything covered in this guide, with final expert tips to ensure your terrazzo sanding project is a success. Chapter 41. Understanding different terrazzo finishes. Terrazzo floors can have different finishes, from matte to high gloss. Learn which finish suits your space and how to achieve it through sanding and polishing. Chapter 42. How to remove old wax and coatings before sanding. Before you start sanding, you may need to strip off old wax or sealant. Discover the best methods for removing coatings without damaging the terrazzo. Chapter 43. The science behind terrazzo sanding. Why does sanding terrazzo make it shine? Understand the science behind abrasion, grit progression, and how polishing compounds enhance surface smoothness. Chapter 44. Choosing the right dust collection system. Dust can be a major issue during dry sanding. Learn about dust extraction systems that keep your workspace clean and safe. Chapter 45. How to handle terrazzo expansion. Joints. Expansion joints are essential in terrazzo flooring. This chapter covers how to sand around them without causing damage. Chapter 46. Can you sand terrazzo with a regular floor buffer? Not all floor machines are designed for sanding. Find out if a standard floor buffer can be used and when a specialized grinder is necessary. Chapter 47. How to restore vintage. Terrazzo floors. Older terrazzo floors require special care. Learn how to restore vintage terrazzo while preserving its original charm. Chapter 48. Removing rust and hot water. Stubborn stains like rust and watermarks need extra attention. This chapter explores effective methods for removing tough stains before or after sanding. Chapter 49. The best safety gear for sanding terrazzo. Stay protected while working. Learn about essential safety equipment including masks, goggles, gloves, and knee pads. Chapter 50. How to deal with loose or cracked terrazzo chips. If your terrazzo has loose or missing chips, sanding alone won't fix the problem. Learn how to repair chips before starting the sanding process. Chapter 51. How to reduce noise. While sanding. Sanding machines can be noisy. This chapter shares tips on reducing sound levels, especially for indoor and residential projects. Chapter 52. The role of diamond abrasives in terrazzo. Chapter 58. How to prevent oversanding. Oversanding can cause damage. This chapter teaches you how to control pressure and grit selection to avoid excessive wear. Chapter 59. The best polishing powders for terrazzo floors. Discover the best polishing powders from oxalic acid to tin ala how to revive terrazzo. That has P-oxide and how to use them effectively. Chapter 60. Step-by-step guide to crystallization. Polishing. Crystallization is a professional polishing method that enhances shine. Learn how to apply it correctly. Chapter 61. Can you sand terrazzo with an angle grinder? Angle grinders can be useful for small areas. Find out how to use them properly for terrazzo refinishing. Chapter 62. Sanding terrazzo with a hand polisher. For detailed work, a hand polisher can be useful. Learn how to use one effectively for edges and tight spaces. Chapter 63. How to revive terrazzo that has been neglected for decades. Some terrazzo floors haven't been maintained for years. This chapter covers extreme restoration methods for heavily worn surfaces. Chapter 64. The best way to protect terrazzo after sanding. Once you've sanded your floor, how do you protect it? Learn about sealers and maintenance techniques to extend its lifespan. Chapter 65. How to achieve a terrazzo look without sanding. Sometimes alternatives like epoxy coatings can refresh a terrazzo floor without extensive sanding. Chapter 66.